Welcome to Path of Exile 2, where we'll build fresh character Ranger class. So we'll run you through the campaign from level 1 till the end game. We'll explain all the essentials that you need to know to get through those bosses quite easily. Without further ado, let's go. We just choose Ranger and click continue. Name it. And let's go. Okay, so this is your starting point in the game where you choose your controlling. Most of the people, including myself, will choose keyboard, and I suggest you to do that as well.
It'll take a better snare than that to catch me.
And you'll run through to your first NPC that you meet in the game, just talk to him.
I'm glad to see another living miller now. I would appreciate.
And you get your first item. So, because we picked the Ranger, so we obviously get a bow. You just open your inventory by pressing I and equip it.
This is like no sickness I've ever seen.
Keep running through the map. Just kicking those badass zombies. And here you get your first large chest. There will be a lot of them throughout the map where you're gonna find some useful and not so much items. Let's open it up. Okay, and we get Quiver. Open inventory. So Quiver goes together with the bow and it works only on Ranger. So this is two items we're gonna stick throughout the game. We're gonna stick to them. So this is basically just improves your bow as such. It gives you extra damage. And if you find a better one, we just equip those. Okay, so keep running through the map. Okay, and here we meet our first range monster. This game is all about the dodging, so you gotta learn how to dodge and time your dodge. Okay, so when they shoot, you just roll by pressing the spacebar, and you'll need to do it quite a lot in this game. Keep killing these zombies and run through, level up. This is just your first map to get you into the game and practice your combat. Here we pick up our first scroll of wisdom. I will explain it to you a little bit later when we get to the town, to our first town, which is going to happen very soon. By the way, here you've got the map on the top right corner. You can press tab to bring it to the middle. It opens up as transparent so you can see through it and play in this mode as well if you wish. I will explain on the next location how to explore your map easily and find all the useful items and not get lost in the game. So here's another chest, and here we get our first skill gem. So what are the skill gems? They are basically your skills like in any other normal RPG, but in this game they come in the form of the skill gem. You just right click it, and here we got open our skills menu, and you just drag it to one of the sockets you've got here. They are limited, so once you fill them all up, you sort of have to pick between different skills which is better working for you, but we'll go through that later on. So once you got your first skill, you need to bind it to one of the buttons. In my case, I will bind it to right click on the mouse, so you just click here and choose available skill and keep going through the map. Here's how you're using the skill. You just click, right click, and here we shoot our first skill, which is lighting arrow. Let's find those badass monsters so we can actually try it out. Okay, so as you can see, it lights them up and deals some extra damage. If you open your skills, you can have a look here and it shows you your DPS on each skill. Lighting arrow, it does 8 at the moment, and bow shot does 11. However, lighting arrow is AoE skills. It chains up few monsters together, so it hits them all at the same time. You can just hover over your skill and read through what they mean. I will show you in a second what it actually does. Here's our first checkpoint. Checkpoint, this is basically if you die, you just respawn over here. Keep in mind, if you die, all the monsters that you kill on the map will respawn as well. Also, the checkpoint, you get your flasks refilled. So you have your life flask and mana flask, which you're using by pressing 1 and 2. Okay, so if you've got single target, we just hit with the left click by our normal arrow, and if you've got a group of monsters, you just right click and hear what happens. See how much damage it deals to the group of them, and this is basically how you get through your first few monsters. You just right click them. Cool. Okay, back to the map. So you see in the blue line, it just shows you the areas that you haven't discovered yet. And in the future, it will be quite important to get into the habit to discover all the map before you keep progressing through your game to the next quest, because you can find some useful items and additional bosses. But you can see there's a little area we haven't discovered yet. We just go there. Okay, there's nothing here that happens. However, there could be some useful chests with useful items or some additional rare monsters where you get some great items out of them. Okay, and here we get to our first boss. So remember I said this game is a lot about dodging. So the bosses, that's actually where you need to use this technique. Okay, so you just right click, and when they hit, you dodge. It's okay to die a couple times, so you can learn actually what they do. I'm not gonna die in this instance. I'm gonna kick his ass. Right click, dodge. He spawns some monsters, we just kill them. Dodge, and keep hitting him. It might take you a little bit of practice to dodge and actually, you know, manage those timings when you see that the boss is going to hit. Oh, we nearly died there, so we just drink our flask and keep hitting his. He's got stand. So you can see there's a stun bar. If you keep hitting the boss or any other monster and that stun bar goes to the end, they just get stunned. There you go. Okay, we pick up the items. From the boss, and then we've got our first passive skill. So we've leveled up. If you press your C button on a keyboard, you see we are level 2 ranger. Also, you've got here your attributes. We've got strength, dexterity, and intelligence. As a ranger, we will have to scale up dexterity, which will give us more accuracy. If you hover over dexterity, you can see there's explanation to each of the attributes. Dexterity is the attribute required to use most equipment that grants evasion rating. I will explain it to you once we get to the armor, which armor to use. It's actually quite simple in this game. We'll get to it in a second. Back to the skill point. So we've got our first passive skill point, and here's our big, intimidating for the first time, the passive skill tree. Don't get too confused, don't overthink it. It's actually not as hard as it seems. So you can see on our passive skill tree the few branches, each of them dedicated to the class that you pick. Okay, for us, this is our starting point. Don't overthink it at this stage of the game. Just pick between two. You can look through what the next skills you can learn after you learn this one, because you don't want to go back and forward, learn this and then this and then this and then this. So you just keep going one direction, because the quicker you get to these bigger circles, the more benefits you get out of the hero. In our instance, we just learn our projectile damage. So you just click on it, and then whether you can click apply points, or you can just, if you just hold your control button and you just click on it, it will learn instantly. Okay, we just get back to the game, and here we get into our first town in the game, which is very important. In town, we're gonna be buying and selling different things, and we're gonna be coming back to town to empty our inventory, because trust me, in this game, it's gonna fill up very quick. This game drops a lot of items, You can leave them on the ground, but if you are like me and you can't go to bed, if you leave something on the ground, then you have to pick it up, go to town and get rid of it, sell it or get materials out of it. We'll get to it in a minute. Okay, so here's our first town, and you can see there are a few NPCs. If you see this yellow mark on top of them, it means they have quests available for you. You can just go through and talk to them. And here we get our first uncut skill gem. Just click on it, drag it to your inventory. We just continue conversation and accept our first quest.
Stick to the carrots.
Run through to the owner and talk to her and accept another quest.
All this. I fear this land. Stay safe if you can.
Okay, so here we've got our first two quests that you can see displayed over here. Also, if you go on your world map. So here you see your first act, Act 1, the world. So pretty much we're gonna go through all of these areas, through here, to the cemetery, through to the village and farming land, and to the main boss. Once we complete the whole map, we move to the Act 2. So this is basically how it works. Also on the map, you can see the same yellow mark. This is where your quest gotta be completed. Okay, let's get back into the game. So the town. So your first town, as I said, the whole first act is gonna be based around this town. You're gonna be coming back to it through the portal, probably every 5 minutes, so you can sell the items, you can empty your inventory and keep going through the game. So on this map we have Una. She sells, you can sell your items to her. Also she sells to you some magical items, so we're not going to be using her much at all because this is more for magic builds. And also she sells some flasks. Don't worry about buying them, we'll actually get upgraded flasks very soon from the game itself, from the drop off. And we have Randy here. You can also sell your items to him, but also you buy some other items from him. Look, normally through the game you're not gonna buy items because you're gonna pick them up from the monsters, and also you're gonna improve them with the different materials, which we'll get to in a minute. Here you've got also your stash and another NPC, Finn. He will have currency market available later on in the game. We'll talk about it when we get to it. Yeah, let's get back to our inventory, and here we've got our first uncut skill gem. What is uncut skill gem? This is basically your skill, but this is just the form it comes in this game. You just pick them up from the monsters and chests on the map. You just right click on it, and here you've got your skills available to learn. Because we're using the bow, they are dedicated skills to the bow, and you just go through them, read what they mean, and decide which one you wanna learn first. Don't worry, we'll have a lot of skill gems available in this game later on. You'll have more than you need, so you can learn all the skills later on. But for now, I suggest to learn lightning rod, because this is another lightning damage, and it drops the arrow down on the ground and it connects your lightning arrow. Because we have limited skills sockets, as you can see here, for now you don't worry about it. You'll have plenty for now, but later on in the game, let's open our skill gems again. Later on in the game, you will have to sort of go one direction because you have skills limited. So you need to choose basically which skills you're going to be using, whether they're going to be, your lighting or poison and so on. Okay, for now, we just click on lighting rod, engrave, and here we've got our skill. Right click it and move it to one of the sockets. And same thing, you just need to bind this skill to one of the buttons. I will keep this first skills on my mouse, so I just bind it to the middle wheel. You can bind it to anywhere else you want. And we'll get to this skill once we get on our first map. Okay, so Quite easy, we just progress through the game and go into our first location called Krillfell. So whenever you get to your new location, what do you want to do? You just want to discover that location before you go any further. Okay? Very important to keep in mind. So every map, if you absent from that map for more than, I think it's between 8 and 16 minutes. So basically after 8 minutes, if you are out of that map, the map will reset. All the monsters will reset and also map layout will reset. Okay, so we'll get back to it again. So just keep that in mind that maps reset. If you go to town and you spend there too long time, let's say you go to town and you went and make a coffee for yourself, the map will reset if you not come back within those 10-minute mark. So once you get to your first map, most of the map are designed in a square shape. There could be different ways through the bridges and stuff like that, but I suggest you to, once you get to your entry point, you just choose direction and go to the left or to the right and discover the perimeter of the map, and then you go through the middle of the map. Once you see what's happening on the map, there will be different entrances to continue through the game. Then you can decide which way you want to go, but at least you will have understanding of what the map has. Okay, so you can discover all the chests, and also some maps have like a mini bosses. They have like a rare monsters on them that have a decent drop, and sometimes they have lifetime buff. You can get like a cold resistance or damage or something like that. Also, you can pick up really useful books that you can learn 2 skill points straight away. Let's discover this map, kill those monsters, and level up and hopefully find some useful items. So again, if you see the group of the mobs, you just right-click them. You find some pots on the map, you just click through them. Hopefully there will be some items. Okay, so here's how our skills work. So if you press our wheel on the mouse, it drops the arrow down and hits them slightly. But if you right-click, see how it actually connects to that arrow and deals more damage. So this is how you're gonna be clearing big groups of the mobs, you know, in your first acts, and this is going to be your main skill to work with. So let's continue through the map and see what it's got for us. So when your health get a bit lower, you just press 1 to drink your flask, but you're going to manage your flasks as well. You can run out of them. They also do refill when you kill monsters, so you'll have them available quite often. So we just run through the map, we stick to one side as I said, and we discover the perimeter of the map first. This is probably where you're gonna die a few times. See, these monsters hit you pretty hard, so you gotta learn to dodge, but this is okay to die. It means if you come back, you just kill those monsters again, you level up, and also you improve your skills and you learn game how to actually go through these battles. Basically, as a ranger, you just right-click when you see a group of mobs, and if you have a single monster, you can left-click them, and we keep discovering the map. Keep going along this wall. Okay, so this is actually the point of the game. We just go through the. So this is the point of the game. We just go through the map and we hit those monsters so we can level up and prepare ourselves for the boss fights, so we can move on into the next location, so we can be prepared. Okay, not only you learn how to play, you also improve your character, so you can find new items and equip better, so you can kick those bosses' asses very easily. So here we found another checkpoint. So we found the Grellwood. This is part of our quest to travel through this location and find Grellwood. We could go straight in there, but what I suggest you just to discover the map and see what's on the map first, as I said before. So we just continue through the map. For me, this is beauty of this game, so you can go through the map and actually kill everything that's on it, find every single item that will help us to go through the game and through the next location in the game, okay? So you can go and rush through the quests and go from one location to another, but then you will hit the point that you just can't kill that boss because you're just underpowered. So I suggest you go through the map first, find everything, and then move on. When you're exploring your map and killing everything that's on it, you can also open the world where you can actually see. So you see the green mark over here. This is where you are. And also you can see what's on this location. So these skeletons, they mean they've got a boss on it. So there are some bosses that are not essential to get you through the game. For example, on this map is not essential. But I suggest you killing them because they have some really good items and also some permanent buffs that basically lifetime. They will help you to go through the game more easier. So we can see on this map, we've got some mysterious campsite and also the boss. Once you've done them, once you found them or kill them, they'll have like a cross on them like this. So this is our first boss that we killed already. So I suggest you constantly checking it and make sure you tick all the points on this location. All right, let's get back into it and keep exploring. Can you hear it? Here she is. So here's the boss on this map. It can be quite difficult to kill her, especially if you play for the first time. And we don't have anything equipped on us. We don't have any armor. We can give it a go and see what happens.
Storming arrow is down.
Okay, so as you can see, she is pretty hard, especially if you play for the first time. I suggest you to go through the map again and find some useful items so we can equip better. And this is the point that I tried to explain to you. If you rush through the game and go straight into the bosses, into next locations, you'll be just dying constantly and the game will get frustrating for you very quickly. See, so we just respawned at our checkpoint. All the monsters are respawn as well, but we actually respawned at the checkpoint next to the boss here. Okay, so we'll just continue and run through the map so we can skill up and hopefully find some better items so we can kill her easier. I think the game actually tries to intimidate you to make this first location quite challenging if you play for the first time. But trust me, it will get easier in the game once you skill up, once you understand how to use your hero and your skills properly to clean those monsters and also kill those bosses much easier. So also in the game, you'll find these waypoints. You can travel between them. So once you discover this waypoint, if you open the map again, so it means you can, if you step on it, you can actually travel from one waypoint to another. So you can travel back to town. But for now, we just keep continuing. So here we've got another checkpoint, and here's another entrance to the Mud Barrow. Okay, so Mud Barrow is another quest in our gameplay. So Barrow is actually you going in and out. So this is one location where you just go in and then out back to here, and then you can continue through the map. The other entrance that we discovered earlier, this is actually that leads you to the game progression later on. Okay, so, but before we go into any entrances, as I said, we just keep continuing through the map and kill those monsters, and hopefully we can find some better items. Here's another checkpoint, and here's our mysterious campsite.
My survival is no stroke of fortune.
Okay, we've got another skill point. We just go back to our tree, and we just continue learning the same chain. Okay, don't go back and forward, we just continue the same way. So depending on the skills that we're going to learn, we'll try to learn our passive skills as well. They're going to support our main skills and the build that we actually have. Okay, we'll get back to it as we go through the game. Just go back to the game for now. And here we found our camp that is mentioned on the map. So if you open your map again, You see there's mysterious campsite. Once we open this and go back to the map, see how it's got a cross, it means we found and ticked the box. You don't have to do it to progress through the game, but I suggest you to do so you can pick up some decent items. So here we've got another skill gem, so we can just right click it and learn another skill. Look, at this stage of the game, I don't want to be spreading too much and learn poison and then lighting and then something else. We'll just stick to our lighting, and also I like this escape shot skill as well. This is just another mobility skill for us. So with the rolling, we can just use this escape shot as well. If you click on a skill, the game will actually tell you and play video how it works.
Use escape shot to jump backwards and shoot an explosion of ice. This skill is very effective for freezing enemies, but deals low damage.
Okay.
Escape shot.
So it will freeze the enemies that deal low damage. It will not freeze the larger enemies, but it is quite useful to escape, and instead of just rolling, we can actually deal some damage and escaping at the same time. We just engrave it, right click, drag it, and then don't forget to bind it. As I said before, I will bind it to Q. So here how it looks. Pretty cool, eh? So just another escaping skill in our inventory.
I have received reports of
The game will have this different sort of notices throughout the game. You can just listen through them, so you're still connected to the main story.
should be considered a traitor and a
Here we found another chest. Let's open it up. Open inventory. And we've got our first armor. So you can see it's written on in red. It says unidentified. So basically it means you just can't wear them. So you need to identify them. To do that, you pick up this scroll of wisdom throughout the game, and also we will open another NPC later on in the game that will identify these items for us. But for now, you can just identify them with the scrolls. You just right click it. You just right click it and then press on the item. Okay, and then we can just drag this armor to equip it. So there's basically 3 types of armor. I will show them to you once we get to it. But basically for us, we just need to find the one that says, see how it says armor here? We need to find the one that says evasion. Okay, so this is suitable for our class, but also this heavy armor, we won't be able to wear later in the game anyway. The game just will not let us because we don't have enough strength, because this heavy armor requires strength. But remember, if we go back to character, we will be scaling up our dexterity, so we will never have enough strength to wear this heavy armor, but we can just wear our light armor that will improve our skills and evasion. So we just continue through the map for now. We feel a little bit stronger. We've got some armor. So here we've picked up another item. This is Twin Focus. This is used for the mage. Don't worry about it. All we need to concentrate on is bow and quiver. So this is two items, 2 weapons that we will be using throughout the game. So just stick to them for now. Anything else that you see, we can sell it or get materials out of it when we get back to town, that I will show you very soon. Okay, you can see we come back to our starting point, to the bridge that we just came over. So you can open the map again, and as I said before, see how it's sort of shaped in a square. So we discovered the whole perimeter. We can now go through the middle and discover the rest of the map. Just remember, keep drinking your mana flasks. When you get low on mana, it will refill once you kill the monsters, so don't try to save on it. Okay, so there are a couple things to explain about the items that we pick up. Armor. So you can see over here, we've got energy shield. It's called energy shield, and it comes from the magic items. So we picked up helmet that is actually not suitable for us later on in the game. For now, it's okay. It's better than nothing. So basically, anything that says energy shield, this is designed for the mage builds. So your witch, for example, can, or sorcerer can wear it. So it basically it's got this shield that when we get hit, it gets used first before our life gets taken away. Okay, so and when you see armor, this is designed more for the heavy. This is for the warrior class. Armor is for the warrior class. So if you really think about it, so the mage, this is just, so there are just different ways to absorb less damage. So magic builds receive less damage through consuming this energy shield first. Warriors that use more armor, it means the monsters will hit them not as hard, okay, so because they have armor, and in our case we will need evasion, so when those monsters hit, they actually miss their hits. Hopefully that makes sense. So there's just 3 different ways of absorbing less damage. So yeah, hopefully we can find the armor that is suitable more for us very soon. We just continue through the map. As you can see, they die quite easily if you use 2 skills. If you drop your arrow and then shoot your lightning arrow. We're nearly done on this location, so we can tackle that boss again. Just run through it. Hopefully we can find something else that will help us to kill her. Okay, so here you can see we've discovered most of the map, and we can go and tackle that boss again because we've got some armor now on us. Hopefully she's not gonna hit us so hard, and also we've learned a little bit techniques of how to kill those monsters. Let's try again. You can see on the map here, some special items will be on a map, so you can see the entrances that we discovered with the red mark. Okay, so let's go in and try again. I suggest you throwing a lot of these arrows on the ground so she can actually, we can deal more damage to her. And just dodge. You can learn. You should learn the skills that she's using, so you can dodge them. Once she spawns these wolves, it's good to have those arrows on the ground so we can hit them harder and kill them quicker, okay? Here she is. As you can see, she dropped quite a lot of items. We just picked them up. Okay, we can open our inventory, and this is a good time to explain to you the type of items that we have in the game. So we have normal items. So you can look at it as a different tier of items or different level of items. So we've got white items that are named in white. So they are normal items. So this is the first and lowest grade of the item. The next level is the magic. So you can see its name is in blue. So they are second tier items, so they are better than normal, right? And we can also upgrade from normal to magic, and I will explain it to you a little bit later. Okay, so and next we've got yellow, which is rare item. So there are basically 3 main tiers of the items. So normal, white, blue, magic, and rare is yellow. So the rare is obviously the best out of them, and then white is the worst. Also, we have orange ones. The orange ones, they are unique items that they are not necessarily better or worse. They can be better or they can be worse, but they also got unique look to them. Okay, so the main 3 tiers, they will look all the same. The bow will look the same pretty much whether it's normal or rare, but uniques will look a little bit different, which is cool, but they might be worse or better than your rare items. So you have to pick between them. So once we collected this and our inventory is pretty full, we can go back to town and talk a little bit about the materials and type of the items a little bit more. To go back to town, we just press on the portal to open the portal. You can open it at any time, at any location in the game. Just remember, when you go into town, you need to come back to the location quite quickly, hopefully within 5 minutes, so the location doesn't get reset, okay? We go to town for now. So as you can see, the portal is open, so we can do our business in town and then get back to the location and continue with our quest. Okay, so this is basically going to be your routine that later in the game, remember I said the game drops a lot of items, so sometimes you'll have to come back to town and back to the location every 2 minutes or 5 minutes or so. Okay, so the first thing when we get to the town, we go to Una.
Sorry, I was just...
And we've got 2 options to get rid of our items. Don't hold on to different weapons and armor, just get rid of them, sell them, or you can also disenchant them. And later in the game, you can also use the bench over here, but we'll talk about it when we get to it. For now, we just go to Una. First of all, just open your inventory and see if we found any items that are better fit for us before we sell them or gain materials out of them. Okay, so here we've got our first armor that actually suits us. Remember I said we need to look for evasion rating. So if we hover over the item and press Alt, it gives us all information on the item. You can see it requires 10 dexterity, which we already have. We have 15. But this is basically the armor that suits us and we're gonna be using. So anything that says evasion rating, whether it's boots or gloves or helmet, this is what we wanna use. The difference between normal items, magic items, and rare items, they give us different modifiers. So first of all, we need to identify it with our scroll of wisdom, right click and identify. So, and as I told you before, this is the magic item, and it's got 2 different modifiers. So this is basically two extra attributes that we get by wearing this item. Okay, so you can see it gives us evasion rating, plus 18 to evasion rating, and also plus 8 to cold resistance. You will be finding different armor that gives you different modifiers, so we will select the one that suits us better. For now, we just equip it. What else we've got? We've got wand. The wand is used by mages, okay? Could be used by witch or any other classes that use magic. We also have another type of items that if you hover over it, you'll see its name is on green. They are quest items that sometimes you have to carry them with you through the game to progress in the game, to carry from one mission to another mission. But some items, they are consumable. So in this instance, you can read through it. Grants us 10% to cold resistance. So this is the item we picked up from that boss that gives us permanent buff. If you right click it, you will consume it. And you pretty much have lifetime buff that gives us 10% to cold resistance. Okay, what else we have? We have gloves here. So they've got evasion rating, so they are suit us. So we can identify them and wear them. Okay, if we hover, you can see this item is also magic item, but it's got only 1 modifier. All the magic items can have up to 2 different modifiers, and here we get to our first special item that we need to talk about. In the game, we will find Orb of Augmentation, so they are basically adding another random modifier to our item. Okay, so let's say we have 1 for now, but let's say we have plenty of them and we want to use them on our items. We just press right click. So see, our gloves have only 1 modifier. So if we press on them, we just get another modifier, which is just another buff. As I said before, magic items can only have 2 different modifiers. Okay, so we can't add any more. in order to get some other modifiers that you think might be better for us, we need to find other gloves and modify them. You will find in the game there are different modifiers that gives us different stats in the game, and some can be better than others, but we can't really change these gloves anymore. At this stage, we will find some items that we can change them, but most of the times we will be finding just the other gloves and then modify them, and hopefully we can get better modifiers that suits our skills and our build better. But this is just matter of luck because most of the modifiers, they are random in the game. Okay, what else we have? We have rope, and the first thing you look at, you later on in the game you will learn about items and they will look similar to what you wear or the same that you wear, so you will know instantly which item to sell and which item to keep. Before you learn all that armor and weapons, you can just look at the attributes that it's got. So you can see it's got energy shield, so we instantly know this is not for us, we can sell it. This one's got armor, this is not for us, we can sell it. And we've got unique item that's unfortunately is not for us. You can sell unique items for a fair bit of money, or you can also gather items from them. Let's find out how to do it. So if you go to Una and press disenchant items, and if you drag magic item, it will show you what you're gonna get. See, you're gonna get transmutation shard. So transmutation shard will actually, if you get 10 of them, you will get orb of transmutation. So orb of transmutation we use to add those modifiers like we did before. So this is how you gather your items for crafting. I mean, this is how you get your materials for crafting in the game. So this is what I suggest you to do. Instead of selling, just gather those materials, because later on in the game you can trade them for better materials, but also you can use them to craft your gear, to improve your gear, to add those modifiers to your gear. Because gold, we will have plenty of gold in the game, probably more than we need. So don't concentrate on selling items. I'd suggest you to get those materials out of them. You cannot get any materials from normal items, so those ones we will be selling, and this is how we're gonna be getting our golds, but also picking up from the monsters while after we kill them. Okay, so we will disenchant all these items. We can just drag them, or you can hold control and click on them. From the rare items, you get another type of material. Once you get 10 of them, you get Orb of Chance. We just collect these materials for now. This is all you have to do. The game doesn't really explain it. What are they? You can get really confused with them, but don't worry. We just collect those materials that we will be using later on in the game. And also from the rare items, we get another type of material. As I said, just collect them for now. Once you get 10 of these Wriggle shards, you get Wriggle Orb. And you use your Wriggle Orb to upgrade your magic item to rare item. Okay, and this is what we're going to be using in the game. We will be leveling up our magic items to rare items to get the item that we actually want, to get those stats that will help us to fly through the game. We accept it, and here we got our materials. So this is how your inventory gonna look after you've done this. This is gonna be your basic routine, as I said, every 2 to 5 minutes. So once we get our materials, we go to the stash and drop them in our stash. Once you emptied your inventory and dropped everything to your stash, you will have your items in the stash and you can use them from your stash directly. You don't have to have them in your inventory to use them. You can see I have some other extra items because I think I've tried Ranger once before, just through first couple locations. So I have some extra items here. You probably will not have them. You can move your items around in your stash. I will keep all my yellow items or gold items at the top, blue items at the bottom, and then all the gathering materials under them. Probably keep my Scroll of Wisdom right at the bottom. So let's talk a little bit about these items that we have over here. You probably will not have them right now in the game, but trust me, you'll have them very soon once you move on to the next location. So they are our main materials that we're going to be using for crafting our gear. Okay, so we've got two types of blue item. Okay, so one is to add extra modifier, and another blue item, Orb of Transmutation. This is upgrade your normal item to the magic item. Once you upgraded it to the magic item, you use your Orb of Augmentation to add that modifier. See, it's to add those two like modifiers to your item. So let's look what items we have. So we have a bow, which is just normal item, okay? So we can improve it to the... So we can upgrade it to the magic item. So we use our Orb of Transmutation, right click on it, and press on the bow. And see, now we've got the... Now our bow is magic item with one modifier over here. So we can add another modifier by using Orb of Augmentation. Right click, press on the bow, and see it's added another modifier. Now we've got our magic item bow with two modifiers. If we try to add another modifier, it will literally tell us we cannot have more mods on this bow. All right, let's look what else we have. We're not going to be leveling up our helmet because this is not the helmet that suits our class because it's got energy shield on it. So we'll hold on to our items, try to not waste them too much and keep them, because sometimes you find the normal item that's got some really good stats on it and you wanna upgrade that item to the magic and then to the rare. Let's look at our golden materials. They are serving, some of them serving the same purpose as the magic materials as well. So for example, Orb of Alchemy, it upgrades normal item to rare item with 4 modifiers. So we can upgrade any normal item that we have and it will add 4 modifiers. Rare items can have up to 6 different modifiers. So just like our magic items have 2 modifiers, our rare items can have up to 6 modifiers. Okay, so we can upgrade with this our normal item. So our quiver is normal. See, it's written in white. So we can upgrade it from normal to rare. And it will add also 4 modifiers. See how it went yellow and it added 4 different modifiers? We can also add extra 2 modifiers to rare item, but for that we need Exalted Orb. So you can read on it, augments a rare item with a new random modifier. Right click, and it just added another random modifier. We can have another one, up to 6 different modifiers. So this is basically how you craft in the game and improve your items and upgrading your items so they are better, so you can hit harder, you can hit faster, you can read through them what each modifier gives to you. So plus 12 to accuracy rating so you don't miss your shots, and then adds lightning damage, which is really great for us because we have lighting arrows. Yeah, and lighting skills, so it's really good for us. And this is what I mean, we can find different items that suits us better and adding those modifiers that actually upgrading our hero as such. Okay, also we've got cold damage to attacks, which works with our skill, you know, that escaping skill when we jump up in the air and freeze the item, freeze monsters in front of us. Also, we get plus 7 dexterity and gain 6 life per enemy killed, which is really good. This is lifesteal, this is really good modifier at the beginning of the game. So every time we kill a monster, we gain that life back. So this is the main principle of the game, how you craft those items and level up those items so you can run through those quests much easier and actually enjoy the game, enjoy the combat, and enjoy your character. Don't rush the game, learn the game, learn those materials, go through all NPCs in town and see what they actually can offer to you, whether you can sell or buy different items. You need those materials to run through the game much smoother and enjoy the game and enjoy your character. Okay, so for now, we've done, our inventory is empty, so we can go back to the game and continue with our quest line. I did spend a little bit of time in this town explaining all this to you, so potentially our map could reset, but it didn't reset because you can see our portal is still open. If the map resets, the portal will close as well, so you have to go through the gate again or through the waypoint, travel from this waypoint to the waypoint that we found there earlier. But for now, we just go back with the portal. As you can see, we explored whole map now, so now we can progress through the game. If we go to the Grillwood, we will continue with our this is the main way to continue through the quest line, and we continue from one location to another location. In this case, we will go to the mud barrow because this is in and out location. So you go in, clear it, and then come out to the back to here. So we go over there. Okay, so this is how you progress through the game. Of course, you don't know which gate to take, but this is part of it. You learn the game, but this is why I'm recording this video, to help you run through the campaign much easier and to get you to understand the game so you can run through much smoother and enjoy the gameplay. Okay, so this is it for the first part. I will meet you in the next video where we're gonna continue through our quest line. I hope you understood the beginning of the game and I did give you some brief knowledge of all the materials. We will learn more about it in our next progression videos. So peace, I'll meet you in the next one.